I walked into that Monday morning meeting with a six-pack of craft beer under my arm. Local stuff from upstate, nothing fancy. Not a gimmick, just something I figured Adrian Mercer might respect. A simple man-to-man gesture. New CEO, first official week. I'd been holding Kilmer Supply together, longer than this guy's probably had a driver's license. He didn't shake my hand, didn't even look at the beer, just stood there fixing his tie like he was about to walk into court, not a staff meeting. "You're done here, Nolan," he said, voice cold, flat. "Pack up." At first I thought he was joking. I actually smiled, took a step forward like I'd misheard. Then I saw the manila envelope sitting in front of him. He slid it across the table like it was a stack of napkins. His wedding ring scraped the wood. That sound, tiny, sharp, somehow made it worse. "This is how we start reform," he said. "The old guard has to go." Nolan's exit sends that message. I stood there like a jackass with 6 beers in my hand, while 2 VP rookies kept their eyes down, pens in hand. Nobody moved, nobody blinked, like they were watching a dog get put down. Quick note before I keep going. Before we start, how's your day going and where are you joining from? Anyway, I didn't say anything, just stared at the envelope. I squeezed it tight. My knuckles went white. Still, I said nothing. Adrian leaned back in his chair like he'd made some kind of grand speech, like this was the part where the music swells and the credits roll. But the idiot didn't know a damn thing about me. He thought I'd walk out with my head down. He thought that envelope and a smug little speech was gonna bury me. He had no clue what was coming. 2 nights before that meeting, I was in my garage sorting old parts. Busted torque wrenches, bent calipers. When my phone lit up, unknown number. I almost let it ring out, but something told me to answer. "Need to see you," the voice said, gravelly. No, hello, no, how have you been? Just that. It was Ray Coyle, the guy who started Kilmer Supply in a single-bay loading dock in Newark back in the 70s. A man who used to shout at forklifts and charm senators in the same day. He hadn't called me in over 5 years. He gave me his address. No details. Just said, "Tonight." It was pouring when I pulled up to his place in Ridgewood. Big brick house. Looked exactly like you'd expect from a guy who built an empire and then vanished. I knocked once. He opened the door himself. Didn't smile. Didn't shake my hand. Just turned and walked back inside. His study looked like time stopped around 2004. Wood-paneled walls, big leather chairs that stank of cigar smoke and power. Everything dark and heavy and deliberate, just like him. He sat. I followed. "Bourbon?" he asked. I shook my head. He poured one anyway. Then he slid a folder across the table. "Read it." Inside were documents, thick ones, ownership transfer, stock filings, signatures already notarized. "I'm selling my stake," he said. 42%. To you, I blinked. "What?" "You heard me." I stared at the papers like they might rearrange themselves into something that made sense. "Ray, I didn't ask for—" "You didn't have to. You earned it." My stomach dropped. The weight of it, what it meant, pressed hard on my chest. This wasn't a gift. It was a loaded weapon. "You ran this company longer than I did," he said. "Built every damn system. Weathered every crash. When the markets panicked in '08, who kept the lights on? Who flew to Dallas during the supply freeze? Who rerouted the entire Eastern Corridor in a blizzard?" I didn't answer. He stood up, walked to the mantel, opened a glass case, pulled out a silver pen. Old, thin, elegant. I recognized it. Everyone did. It was the pen he used to sign the founding charter of Kilmer Supply, back when the company was just a dream on the back of a napkin. "This pen's more than ink," he said, placing it in front of me. "It's a promise." I picked it up. It was warm, like he'd just been holding it. My fingers curled around it automatically, like muscle memory. He leaned forward, eyes sharp despite the years. "But you don't tell anyone yet. Not the board, not legal, not even your damn assistant. Why?" "I want to see what they do when they think you've got no power." His voice dropped, full of steel. "You want to know who people are? Take away your title. Take away your keys. Let them think you're out in the cold." I stared at the folder again. My name was already typed under buyer. Signed, sealed, done. All that was left was one stroke of that pen. "You're setting me up," I said, half joking, half not. He cracked a smile, just barely. "No, Nolan. I'm giving you the floor I signed, one stroke, no ceremony." Then I put the pen in my pocket and walked out into the rain. Didn't sleep that night, just stared at the ceiling, thinking about the storm that was already forming. Next morning, I parked in the far corner of the lot, not my usual spot. Didn't feel like walking past the row of execs pretending not to see me. I carried in a plain cardboard box. No beers this time, just the box and the sound of my boots hitting polished tile. The halls were dead quiet. One guy at the reception desk looked up, then down again just as fast. Two younger analysts near the elevators gave me those awkward little nods, half respect, half pity. No one said a word. I walked straight to my office, shut the door behind me, blinds half shut. Sun cut across the room in sharp lines, dust in the air, thick and slow. I sat down, looked around like I was seeing it for the first time, or maybe the last. First thing into the box was the white ceramic mug from my first plant tour in '98. Still had the chip on the handle from when I dropped it during the Chicago merger panic. I packed it in tight between a rolled-up chart of our old Southline ops and a binder labeled Crisis Management, 2009 to 2015. Next went the photo of my daughter. She was 8 in that picture, sitting on my shoulders at the 4th of July fair in Paramus. I hadn't seen her in 4 years. Her choice, not mine. Then came the plaque they gave me for 30 years of service. Still had the spelling error in my last name. I never fixed it. Behind the door, I reached for the old company jacket that had hung there since 2003. Navy blue with the Kilmer patch stitched crooked on the chest. I held it up to my nose. It smelled like early mornings and late nights, like burnt coffee and busted air vents, like home almost. And just like that, my brain dragged me back to that night in December when my dad's heart gave out. The call came in right as we were rerouting freight out of Baltimore. Ice storms shut down 2 ports, stranded dozens of trucks. I stayed behind, 48 trucks, 16 hours, 2 sets of fresh maps. I didn't even pause to change shirts, missed the funeral, didn't say goodbye, told myself it mattered more, that keeping this company alive was the better call. Maybe it was, maybe not. I stood there, jacket in one hand, phone in the other, thinking how fast 30 years disappears when no one's watching. The door buzzed. Notification. Text from Danny Harper, guy I trained back in 2004. Real field guy. Dirt under the nails type. "We remember, man. You mattered here." That stopped me. Not Adrian's smug face. Not the directors keeping their distance. That. I folded the jacket, slow, and placed it on top. Then I took one last look around. Didn't feel like failure. Didn't feel like defeat either. Felt like the quiet before something breaks loose. I was sitting at my kitchen table Thursday afternoon, still half in my work clothes, when my phone buzzed. Unknown number again, but this time I answered without thinking. "Check your email," the voice said. Young, nervous. Then it clicked. Evan Burke, one of the new analysts I trained on crisis mapping last year. Click, dial tone. I opened the email. No subject line, just a file attached and one sentence in the body. "You should hear this." I put my earbuds in, hit play. It was Adrian's voice, arrogant, smooth like salesmen always try to be, but smug underneath. He was giving a presentation to senior leadership. Must have been recorded on someone's phone. I heard chairs shifting, pens clicking, the quiet throat clears of people trying to sound busy. Then Adrian said it. "Guys like Nolan were just dead weight." My stomach nodded, but I didn't move. "We can't grow dragging around old pipes and rust," he went on. "That era's over. Relics like him held us back." He laughed after that. I took out the earbuds, set them down slow, sat there staring at my hands like they didn't belong to me. That wasn't just getting rid of me. That wasn't some cold corporate shuffle. That was personal. That was erasing 30 years of grit and scars like it was nothing but bad PR. I picked the earbuds back up, replayed it. This time, I didn't flinch. I listened to every damn second. His tone, the little chuckles from the room, the forced, "let's move forward" speech that followed. All of it. By the time it ended, my jaw hurt from how tight I'd clenched it. But I wasn't pissed the way I thought I'd be. I was locked in. Adrian had no idea he just handed me a loaded weapon. That recording wasn't just disrespect. It was evidence. And arrogance always leaves a paper trail. I forwarded the file to a burner folder, then backed it up twice, thumb drive and cloud. Evan hadn't left a name in the email, but I sent one line back. You did the right thing, keep your head down. Then I got up and walked to the garage, pulled down the metal box where I kept my old notes. Merger drafts, internal memos, redline corrections on logistics policy. I'd been collecting everything since Ray handed me that pen. Quiet, patient. I slid the flash drive into the case. Let him laugh. Let him think I was gone, buried under the weight of my own rust. He wanted a clean slate. He was about to get one, scraped raw and rewritten by someone who actually built the bones of this company. Friday morning, I got there early, parked 2 levels down, took the freight elevator up. No one saw me come in. The boardroom lights were already on. I stood just outside the frosted glass, the kind that blurs everyone into shadows. 12 figures seated, one standing. Adrian. His voice came through in pieces, confident, loud. Backed by the majority investor, he was saying, this new chapter starts now. We've cleared the dead wood. Dead wood. Cute. I slid my hand into my jacket pocket and wrapped my fingers around Ray's silver pen. It felt cool, steady. The only thing in that building that still had weight. At the center of the table was a seat no one touched, polished, empty. In front of it, a nameplate, reserved, majority shareholder. They didn't know who it was, not yet. Adrian hadn't figured it out, not smart enough. I watched him circle the table, gesturing with that tight little salesman grin like he was pitching a timeshare. Logistics will be restructured next, he said. Clean slate. All legacy systems retired. We're not looking back. Some heads nodded, a couple scribbled notes, but others looked uneasy. One director leaned to the man next to him. So, who the hell is the new owner? He whispered. The other shrugged. Legal hasn't said. Adrian just told us they're aligned. I stayed still. Let him keep performing. Let the tension stretch out. That's the thing about guys like Adrian. They love hearing themselves talk. Every word is a little trophy. Every nod from the room feels like power. He hadn't earned fear. He borrowed it, rented it, but the minute it slips, guys like that crumble fast. I saw one of the older board members, Strauss, I think, glance toward the empty chair. His eyes narrowed. Let the cracks show. Let them wonder. I didn't walk in. Not yet. He needed to feel like he'd won. Let him bask in it a little longer. Let him say one more dumb thing for the record. I leaned back against the wall. Waited. Ray once told me something after the 99 warehouse fire. We were standing over a clipboard full of losses. You don't yell in the middle of a storm, he said. You wait till it passes, and then you rebuild with whoever's still standing. I was still standing. Adrian just didn't know it yet. I stayed planted just outside that frosted glass. Adrian was still holding court, pacing now, his shoes tapping too loud on the floor. We've already cut the fat, he said. Today we vote to restructure logistics and compliance, top to bottom, clean house. Some board members nodded. A few didn't move at all. You could tell who had questions by the way their pens hovered in the air instead of writing. That pause, that quiet, was where doubt lived. Adrian didn't see it. He kept steamrolling. Then the door cracked open. It was Claire, the board secretary, breathless, holding a manila folder tight against her chest like it might bite her. She didn't knock, just walked in and handed the filing directly to Adrian. He flipped it open right there. I couldn't see his face, but I saw his posture shift. His shoulders locked up, like someone had grabbed him by the collar. The room got still. Adrian cleared his throat too loud. This is just confirmation of the new investor's stake. No one responded. He tried again, voice thinner now. We expect the new majority owner to support our direction. Too fast, too forced. I could hear it in the air. His grip was slipping. Then Strauss spoke up. We were told legal was still finalizing. Adrian snapped back too quick. It's finalized. I just got word. From who? Someone else asked. Didn't catch the voice, but it was one of the younger directors. Adrian didn't answer. He turned his back for a second, like he needed to reset. That was the crack. Right there. That moment of hesitation. I let it hang, didn't walk in yet. I wanted it to breathe. Let every one of them feel the shift happening right under their feet. I stepped closer to the door, not enough to be seen, just enough to watch the body language start to change. The silence stretched, thick, uneasy. Then Adrian said it. "The new majority shareholder is aligned with our vision for change," he said again, quieter this time. "Trust me." Nobody trusts the guy who says trust me twice in 5 minutes. I slid my hand into my pocket and touched the pen. Cold, heavy, the real kind of weight, not the flashy CEO title he'd thrown around all week. You could feel the room starting to tilt, directors leaning back instead of forward, arms crossing, eyes flicking toward the empty chair. They were starting to guess, but none of them knew yet. Not for sure. Let it build, I told myself. Let Adrian stand there with his mouth full of lies and sweat building under his collar. One more breath, one more silence. Let the table turn before I step into the room. "Let's proceed with the vote," Adrian said, voice stiff, like he was choking on it. That was my cue. I opened the boardroom door and stepped in. My boots echoed on the tile, slow, deliberate, louder than they had any right to be. Heads turned one by one, like someone had flipped a switch. Pens dropped, chairs shifted, no one said a word. Adrian's smile cracked the second he saw me. I didn't speak, didn't raise a hand or wave anything around like a movie entrance. I just walked straight to the table and set Ray's silver pen down in front of the reserved majority shareholder nameplate. Dead center. Silence dropped over the room like a steel lid. Adrian stepped back, blinked hard. He has no authority here," he said, pointing at me like a kid caught cheating on a test. He's terminated." That was processed. I didn't respond. Just looked at him, not angry, not smug, just there. He kept talking, like volume would save him. "This isn't valid. This is a breach. He doesn't hold any position. This isn't—" "You done?" I said. He froze, mouth open. Couldn't land the next word. One of the older board members, Strauss, leaned back in his chair, arms folded. "I vote with Nolan," he said. That was the first domino. 2 others followed instantly, pens down, hands raised. Adrian spun toward them. "You're voting on what exactly?" "He's not even 42%, I said finally, calm, clear. "That's what I hold." You could feel the shift, like a train switching tracks. I'd kept the envelope he slid across the table that Monday morning, the one that was supposed to end me. I pulled it out now and laid it in front of him. I laid it down, nice and easy, in front of him. "I don't accept this termination," I said. "I'm not your employee anymore." I leaned in slightly. "I'm your boss." Adrian stared at the envelope like it was a bomb about to go off. His mouth opened again, but no sound came. The rest of the room? Silent, processing. Then a voice from the far end. "I second Strauss." One more. "Same here." Adrian turned pale, hands flat on the table now, like he was trying to hold on to something solid. I didn't press it, didn't raise my voice, didn't need to. I'd already walked through every fire this company ever faced. Adrian hadn't even learned where the exits were. One director, younger guy, maybe mid-30s, tapped his notepad, nodded toward me. "I've never seen a power move done that quiet," he muttered. Adrian stepped back like the air had gone out of him. He didn't sit, didn't argue, just stood there blinking. I looked around the table. 12 seats, 12 pairs of eyes. Not a single one on him anymore. "Let's finish the meeting," I said. "We've got real work to do." And that was it. Control wasn't taken. It was returned. I pulled the chair back and sat down. The seat marked majority shareholder. My name wasn't on the plaque, but it didn't need to be. Everyone in that room knew who owned it now. I picked up the pen. Ray's silver pen, smooth grip, heavy in the fingers. But it wasn't the weight of metal. It was memory, the hours, the calls, the nights no one saw, the crap I swallowed and the people I carried through fire just to keep this company breathing. Adrian didn't say a word, didn't even try. He stood there stiff, jaw tight, probably trying to figure out how the hell he missed it all. I looked him right in the eye. "This company doesn't need a salesman," I said. "It needs someone who remembers how we got here." No one moved, no one looked away. I reached for the board motion sitting in front of me. Final approval on restructuring, Adrian's so-called master plan. My name was printed at the bottom, waiting for one stroke. I signed it. Ink rolled smooth across the page. Final stroke. Authority sealed. Adrian flinched just barely. I locked eyes with him again. From now on, you answer to me. He nodded, barely, but he nodded. That was enough. I stood up slow. No rush, no need to slam anything or make speeches. I slid the pen back into my pocket, felt the metal settle against my chest like it belonged there. Nobody clapped this time. Nobody had to. The silence was enough. I walked out the same way I came in, steady, shoulders square, boots hitting the floor like they always had. I didn't smile, didn't look back, didn't need to. That room was mine again. And for the first time in years, I felt whole.